Hey guys, I wanted to make a discussion video about the next generation consoles, the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4. What I mean by a discussion video is I want you to comment about what you think about these two devices, you know, which one you're going to get, which one you think's better, did Microsoft do a good job, did Sony do a good job? Because it's kind of a big deal, right? This is the next console you're going to have for the next 7 to 10 years, so you kind of want to choose the right one for you. So yeah. I've got the specs right here because we do have the specs for both now. We saw the Xbox One, the actual console, we got to see that in the announcement. We haven't seen the PlayStation 4 yet, so we don't know what that looks like, but we do have the specs for both, so we can go ahead and check those out. Let's do that right now. So the Xbox One is right here, you can see I've highlighted it, and the PlayStation 4 next to it on the right. Let's start off with the CPU. Now you can basically tell that Microsoft and Sony were really doing their shopping at the same store. The CPU is basically identical. They're both using the same CPU architecture, the AMD Jaguar. At the moment, they both have the same CPU frequency at 1.6 GHz, and they both have the same amount of CPU cores. So there's not much to talk about right there. Now, what you think is the biggest thing with a gaming console is the GPU and just how strong the GPU is. So basically, the GPU cores is what matters. The Xbox One has 768 GPU cores versus the PlayStation 4's 1152, and it has a peak shader throughput performance of 1.84 teraflops versus the Xbox One's 1.23. That's a 33% difference, and whichever way you look at it, there's no two ways to look at this. The PlayStation 4 has a beefier, stronger GPU. Now, whether or not that'll actually matter in terms of game development, I don't know, because software development guys always tend to make their software for the lowest common denominator, which will be the Xbox One in this case, and then it will just work on the PlayStation 4. But hopefully they do take advantage of that extra power on the Xbox 4. So we'll have to wait and see for that one. But nonetheless, the Sony have put a stronger GPU in the PlayStation 4. Let's talk about memory, and this is kind of difficult because the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 go with a different approach in terms of memory. And I've got to say, I prefer the PlayStation 4 approach. I think it's better for developers. I think they'll be more interested in developing for this because it's kind of a little bit faster. So right here you've got, let's check out the memory. You've got, both have 8 GB of memory. The Xbox One has DDR3, the PlayStation 4 has GDDR5. GDDR5 is basically the best memory you can get right now, and it's a hell of a lot quicker. You can see 2133 MHz for the Xbox One versus 5500 MHz for the PlayStation 4. GDDR5 is a lot faster memory, and it should equal better system bandwidth, which it does. And you can see right here, the PlayStation 4 has 176 gigabytes per second bandwidth versus the Xbox One 68.3. So quite a big difference. Now, it's not just as simple as those two numbers right there, because the Xbox One has the ES RAM right here, which is kind of a cache, and if it's used as a cache, it will make a big difference, and the bandwidth will kind of be negated. It won't be too different. It won't be this kind of massive number difference right here. So this embedded memory will make a big difference to the Xbox One. But you can see what I mean by it's two different ways of looking at the system memory. As a developer, as a software developer, I do think game developers will want to develop for the PlayStation 4. I just think it has a better way of dealing with it. It has a beefier GPU and it has faster memory, which, if they utilize that, should equal better gaming performance. So we'll have to wait and see. If we just tick over to the memory subsystem here, we can see a bit more stats. Scroll down. Yeah, so you can see it right here. This is what I was talking about between the system memory bandwidth and all that other stuff, embedded memory bandwidth. You can see the embedded memory bandwidth of the Xbox One is 102. PlayStation doesn't have it because it just has one massive GDDR5. Now, I'm no expert on the specs of consoles, so I'm just kind of reading this and judging it for myself. I could be completely wrong, so don't screw at me in the comments if I'm wrong about which is stronger, but I do think the PlayStation 4 has the stronger hardware. Now, for me, while watching both conferences, it looked to me like the Xbox One was focusing a lot more on the living room, a lot more on the cloud and networking, and you know, you can snap two programs together, you can use Skype while watching TV. It has a HDMI in as well, so you can kind of plug your Sky into it and things like that. The PlayStation 4 seemed to me a lot more game orientated. Even though they didn't show the actual box, they showed a lot of indie games, they showed a lot of different games right there, they showed a lot of graphic stuff. It seems to me like the PlayStation has gone back to gaming. They've gone away from the PlayStation 3's kind of cloud and living room environment, and they're pushing gaming again, and the specs kind of show that. You know, it has a better GPU and it has faster memory compared to the Xbox One, but that doesn't always mean that we're going to see much difference. Like I said, it's 33% difference in compute power. Whether or not we'll actually see that is a completely different story. But there you have it. That's kind of a quick rundown of the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4. Like I said, I want to know what your thoughts are on this, so comment, let me know what you guys think. Peace out.